We often think of our inner child as something cute or nostalgic, but for many of us, that inner part of us is carrying heavy emotional baggage, unhealed pain, unresolved fears, and survival strategies that developed during childhood. That part of you is wounded and it's desperately trying to protect the adult you, usually by hijacking your reactions. Today, we are going to be talking about signs that your inner child is secretly running your adult life. And I want to start by pointing out recognizing these signs isn't about blaming your past, it's about identifying the source of your distress so that we can finally deliver the healing message it needs. The first big sign is a pattern of extreme reactions to small triggers. Have you ever noticed yourself going from 0 to 100 in an argument over something trivial, or feeling disproportionately devastated over a minor critique? That's not the rational adult responding. That's your wounded inner child taking over. That small trigger, like a partner forgetting to call, a coworker giving their constructive feedback, it's hitting an old massive wound of abandonment and rejection. The adult you sees something small, but the inner child hears, I am not important, I am not enough, I am not safe. When your response doesn't fit the situation, it's a huge flag that the younger, more vulnerable part of you is feeling threatened. And it's throwing an emotional tantrum because it never learned how to regulate that feeling safely. Another clear signal that your inner child is hurting is chronic people pleasing and a fear to set boundaries. And we've talked about this, especially for eldest daughters. But the root is usually the child's survival strategy. That younger self learned that love is conditional on my usefulness and my compliance. To stop people from leaving, to keep the peace, and to stay safe, you had to become extremely good at anticipating and meeting everyone else's needs while ignoring your own. As an adult, this means you feel intense guilt when you say no, and you fear conflict intensely that you sacrifice your own peace to maintain harmony. I want to point out this behavior isn't driven by kindness, it's driven by a childhood terror of rejection that is now controlling your adult choices. Another very subtle but powerful sign is perfectionism, or a constant need for external validation. The wounded inner child often feels inherently flawed or not good enough. So, what does it do? It becomes obsessed with achieving an impossible standard of perfection in school, work, or appearance because it believes perfect performance equals unconditional love, or at least prevents criticism. This is what drives the adult you. You can achieve massive success, but you can't internalize it. You constantly seek praise, you become crushed by minor failures, and you always move goalposts. This is because the underlying belief remains, I must prove my worth. And until that child is told their worth is simply by existing, no amount of external achievement is ever going to fill that void. You may also recognize a wounded inner child through patterns of difficulty with emotional intimacy or trust. If you find yourself fiercely resistant to deep connection, always keeping walls up, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, or constantly seeking engulfment, or becoming instantly codependent, that reflects the child's relational trauma. The inner child does not know how to do safe, balanced attachment. It either learned people leave, leading to avoidance and guardedness, or closeness is conditional, leading to smothering and desperate clinginess. This inability to tolerate vulnerability or trust consistent, healthy love is what makes adult relationships feel terrifyingly unsafe. The major final sign is a pattern of self-sabotage and avoidance. This is a child saying, if I fail myself, it hurts less than letting someone else hurt me. When you get close to a goal, a promotion, a financial stability, or even a healthy relationship, you suddenly create chaos, disappear, or drop the ball. The wounded part of you fears the high stakes that come with success because success means vulnerability, exposure, and greater potential loss. The adult you sees a puzzle, but the inner child sees a trap. By sabotaging, the child maintains control over the level of pain, choosing the familiar sting of self-inflicted failure over the unknown pain of the adult success and potential external criticism. I want to finish by saying these are not character flaws. They are distressing signals from a younger, terrified part of you. The goal isn't to silence this part, but to acknowledge its pain and become the mature, compassionate parent it's always needed. Healing starts when you stop trying to fix the symptoms in your adult life and start communicating safety and love to the source of the wound.